IKONINI. So leo ni public holiday na hii ni public holiday moja interesting sana cause a lot of things happened yesterday na zilikuwa zina happen super fast. So one of the things that happened of course ni kulikuwa na the court proceedings, na hizi court proceedings zilikuwa zile za kucheki kama zile conservatory orders zinafaa kulengwa ama hazifai kulengwa. Na kama kawaida hizi court za Kenya mtu juaga how it starts. Like this happens with all the courts, be it the Supreme Court, be it the what, zinaanzaga na design nyingine zile kama we ni complainant unaanza kufeel ni kama unaenda kushinda, but they all end the same. So hivi ndio ilianza.
It is undisputed that the impeachment of the Deputy President is a constitutional process outlined in Article 145 of the Constitution. The authority to determine whether the merits and procedures of such an impeachment process align with constitutional requirements therefore falls squarely within the jurisdiction of the High Court as provided for under Article 165(3)(2).
So vile hii of course ilisemwa, ungechekia few headlines hapo zikisema that Ruto suffers blow na cheki. So hapa itakuwa tini Ruto suffers blow ikikam to story za impeachment ya Gachagua. Cause Ruto alikuwa anasema hakuna vile High Court inafaa kusikiza hii story, inafaa kusikizwa tu na Supreme Court. But of course lazima wangepatia Gachagua something to make him smile. So ungecheki ma headlines kadhaa kama kulikuwa na hii ilikuwa ni Kenyans.co.ke walikuwa meka High Court dismisses Ruto's plea to refer Gachagua's case to Supreme Court. So saizi kuna vile Gachagua mwenyewe anaoishikua Ruto's plea ingechukuliwa kesi baki imepelekwa Supreme Court. Kwa nini? Cause Kenya tumekuwa tukisema hii kitu for some time that Kenya has become a country where the executive, especially under Ruto, the executive is everything. All these other arms have become useless. And kuna a few people who dispute when I say that, but let me put it this way. When Ruto was the deputy president, he was taken to court by a civilian, a Kenyan civilian. Why? Because Ruto had grabbed his 100 acres of land. Uhuru was the president. Uhuru could have interfered. Uhuru did not interfere. What ended up happening? Ruto lost that case. Angalia, since Ruto came into power, has any of Ruto's friends lost any case? No. Yun initangwa state capture. But sasa wacha to go back to proceedings za jana. So kwa proceedings za jana, another thing that happened was of course sasa tukafika kwa stories za conservatory orders. And kuna huyu Justice Eric Ogola alikuwa one of the people wale akina Gachagua alikuwa anataka atoke because walikuwa wanasema that wife wake was employed by the president. But of course hiyo story ilikuwa inafaa yeye mwenyewe alikuwa anafaa kujirecuse na akasema IKONINI, I'm not recusing myself. So wacha tucheki ile time sasa alibaki ametupanisha hizo conservatory orders.
The applications for conservatory orders are hereby disallowed. 2. The conservatory orders issued on 18th of October 2024 in Keregoya High Court E015/2024 are hereby discharged and or set aside. Costs of these applications shall be incurred. We grant leave for appeal, type proceedings and certified copies of this ruling to be availed to parties at cost or as it may be. We will mention this matter on 7th of November 2024 at 2 p.m. in the open court.
So keep in mind your story. We will mention this case on 7th of November open court. We'll come back to that. But sasa, so hiyo basically ilikuwa inaonyesha like this is the end of the road for Gachagua. But one of the things pia ili stand out ni like one of the reasons why Justice Murima alikataa kutetea Murima. It was like such a bullshit excuse, but wacha tusikie ile kitu alisema. And hizi vitu of course mimi nazipatiana from a layman perspective. I've never gone to law school, so don't take my like analysis as legal analysis. It's just that some things, just a little bit of common sense tells you when bullshit is bullshit. Sikiza hii part.
The president is vacant. The specific constitutional functions assigned to that office remain unfulfilled. For clarity, not even the Speaker of the National Assembly may discharge the functions vested in the Deputy President under Articles 147, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution. In light of the above, we are convinced and hereby find that the current constitutional framework does not envision any scenario in which the office of the Deputy President will remain vacant, except during the brief period required to fill such a vacancy.
So umesikia hiyo, anasema the constitution hai-envision any point where the office of the deputy president would be vacant. But sasa wacha tuende kwa msema kweli. Msema kweli ni I think ni article 149. I don't know how that's called, ama ni kama vile susomaga Bible ni chapter 149 ama ni article. Okay, but inasema vacancy in the office of the deputy president. Iko inasema within 14 days after a vacancy in the office of deputy president arises, the president shall nominate a person to fill the vacancy, and the National Assembly shall vote on the nomination within 60 days after receiving it. Askeyo? So within 14 days. So the president had 14 days, and then the National Assembly iko na 60 days. So that's a total of 74 days. History yote ati sijui kuna haraka kuna nini. Gachagua alikuwa impeached 2 weeks ago. It was on October 17th. So history yote ni upumbavu. But you know what's happening right now in Kenya. We have to just be serious and we have to be honest and say we have a situation whereby the executive is everything. Najua, the executive decides what's going to happen. Na tunajua hizi vitu. That's why unacheki ilifika hii history ya ati Nini Koome na Ruto alikuwa na meet to discuss rift between judiciary and executive. The executive under William Samoei Ruto gets what it wants. And is the impeachment proceedings, of course, even when they start with those first soft words that they start with, you have to know that at some point it's going to get ugly. And when it gets ugly, mukumbukaga tu buda anaitwa Sonko. Because Sonko, of course, when they wanted to impeach him, they ended up like walimtoleaga risiti. And part of the receipts zile walitoaga ilikuwa risiti ile one day I hope nitakaa chini na yeye alafu tutabaki tumediscuss risiti, cause alibaki ametumia a certain term that only yeye anajua kuitumia, cause kwa wengine wenyu msikiaga mkiongeza kwani hakunaga kwani. Sikiza jo mse
kumbavu wewe, takataka Ghasia, ndio bwana ulikuwa unakatwa makende matako wewe. Mzee wewe ni mzee, ukwalify kanjo si mama yangu, wewe ni grandmother, wewe changa makende wewe. Niko nini?
Iko nini? Unasikia hakuna sikwani iko. Niko nini? Sikia jo. Wewe ni grandmother.
Shazi wewe, naogopa Mungu si na maji. Takataka wewe, loyalty yako ni ya pesa. Matako wewe.
Sikia jo. You'll get ugly. But wacha saa to come back to the present. So if you come back to the present, now let's look at a few things that happened immediately after history could happen. So hizi stories sasa zina happen at night. Like mimi mwenyewe usiku nilikuwa base radio, nikabaki nimecheki hizi vitu. Nikacheki the Assumption of the Office of President Act. Ilikuwa the Kenya Gazette, published by the Authority of the Republic of Kenya. Then ikaandikwa, it is noted for general information of the public that the swearing in ceremony of the Deputy President designate shall take place on Friday, 1st November 2024 at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, in Nairobi City County from 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Hey, damn, nasikia naoga hiyo in the forenoon. Sisi tunajoga the afternoon. Says in the forenoon. Dated 31st October 2024 by Mercy K. Wanjao, chairperson of the Assumption of the Office of the Deputy President Committee. So ilitokea. Alafu the next one ikatokea, and this one you have to read in what happened here. So the next one ikatokea, ilikuwa imeandikwa pia the same, published by the Authority of Nini. Ikaandikwa, it is notified for the general information of the public that the Cabinet Secretary for the Interior and National Administration, in exercise of the powers conferred under section blah 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 blah, declares Friday the 1st November 2024 to be a public holiday, being the date of the swearing in of the Deputy President designate. And this is the reason why nikuwa nasema tukumbuke ile story ya 7th November. According to koti, hii kesi haijaisha, but according to the executive, hii kesi imeisha. And in Kenya, the executive gets what it wants. And one of the reasons why they declared today a public holiday was to make sure that the courts are not working. So if the courts are not working, there is no one who can go there and stop the swearing in ya umse. So the swearing in is going to happen. But this is where it gets tricky. Because the fact that tukigo back to you buda mwingine vile alikuwa anasema that he said that hii kesi itasikizwa tena on the 7th of November. What happens? This means that this is still an open case. But who needs to swear in? The deputy president. If I'm not wrong, the deputy president needs to be sworn in by the CJ, Koome. So if Koome ends up swearing in the deputy Nini, inamaanisha ye mwenyewe atakuwa ametuonyesha kuwa the judiciary is useless. So it's going to be a very historical moment today. I don't know what's going to happen. If I was a betting man, of course Koome is going to swear in this person. But sahau, kumbuka kile judge alisema.
Maybe we will mention this matter on 7th of November 2024 at 2 p.m. in the open court.
Nasikia hiyo. We'll mention this matter, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now we know that Koome is going to swear in this person because, the government cannot be embarrassed. So there's no situation where a William Samoei Ruto ends up wanting someone to be sworn in and that person is not sworn in because of a simple matter of a court. I'm the president, I'm the executive, I'm the three arms of government. Who the fuck are you? So, of course, this is going to happen. So, it goes back to kitu nimekuwa nikisema. Umse, kuna vile, the fact alikuwa anasemaga Uhuru, kuna state capture, inakuwaga funny kabisa. But now, let's go back to Gachagua kidogo. Gachagua ni one of those people where, if you had to look at different clips of him, and the way he used to be arrogant, this should also be like a lesson to a lot of people on power. Hii kitu inaitwa power. And this can also be a lesson to even Ruto. Because Ruto, niko sure, saizi anachukua like he's untouchable. And this is the same person who, as soon as he got into power, ended up invading Nini, like ilikuwa ni shamba ya Uhuru. So he needs to know that at some point akiretire, unless he gets his way, which is changing the constitution, because a lot of us don't believe that nonsense that he's not trying to change the constitution. Hiyo ni yenyu. Umsana try to change the constitution. But sasa, Gachagua alikuwa anadanganywa sana na power. And during that time, he used to talk a lara ish. Kumbuka hii.
Your Excellency, umetuambia hii Kenya ni yetu tuichunge. Sasa wameona wameharibu kuchafua Kenya. Familia ya yule mtu mwenye project wameenda Dubai, wengine wameenda London. Huyu mzee akitendawili ametoroka, ameenda na familia yake Malindi. Siku mbili alikuwa amejificha hospitali, anasema awekwe maji ati ni mgonjwa. Madaktari wakamwambia wewe hapana, mgonjwa aenda nyumba. Huyu Kalonzo amekaa kwake nyumbani, amekataa kutoka. Anasema ati askari wanamzuia kusoga na hakuna mtu. Ameona watchman yake anazunguka hapo nje, anasema ni askari. Kwa sababu walikuwa nafikiria hii ni ile serikali walikuwa wanachezea. Rais wetu, we want to assure you of our support from this region. Ni oroma. Netokoro.
Mesikia jo. We want to assure you of the support from this region. So saa hizi nashidwa. Are you still assuring him of the support? Afu wesikia part vile alikuwa anasema ati kuna ubuda alibaki ameishia hosi na akasema yeye ni mgonjwa, madaktari niongezeni maji. Madaktari wakamwambia wewe si mgonjwa, tukuongeze maji. Sasa shida ni yeye mwenyewe alienda pameenda hosi. Na vile aliendaga hosi, of course, majuzi dokta wake alibaki amesema that he suffers from kitu inaitwa Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Masikia hiyo? Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, also known as the broken heart. So hii ni condition hiyo yenyewe nishaipitia. Let me confess, like when I was a teenager, kuna udem nilikuwa nimenoki na hakuwa ameninoki. So mimi niko sad. Kumbe sikuwa najua na suffer from Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, aka broken heart. Ama simply put, Ruto umenivuja roho. Nilikuwa nakupenda kushinda Uhuru, kanivuja roho. Lakini one of the most iconic moments ile hatutaisahau nayo, because kila mtu anasema that we are going to forget Gachagua after a very short time, but mimi sitai forget Gachagua because I'll never forget him, especially because of this speech. Ile speech alimekigi straight after atoke hosi, akiwapo nje ya hosi, yeye akisema you're a simple wambele.
Do whatever you want, but please, Mr. President, I beg you, don't kill us. Don't kill my children. You have caused me enough pain for the last 1 year. Please leave me alone. Let me.
Nasikia hiyo, you have caused me enough pain for the last 1 year. Please leave me alone. Now I have Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. So cheki jo, kwa naandikia dem yako, ka dem ameku break heart. Ama ka chali yako ameku break heart. Today is the day. Baki tu umemwandikia letter. Wambia, ever since you left me, I was diagnosed with Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. I can't sleep. I have a broken heart. Apart from me, Rigathi Gachagua also has the same condition. Okay. So, Rigathi Gachagua, how will we remember this guy? How will history remember him? I don't know how history will remember him. But to paint him as the most tribal person, yostai kubali, especially considering like what this government has done. But one of the things ilani interesting was just see how efficient this government has been ikikam to story na kuimpeach msee. Mpaka nakumbuka jana, I think kuna ubuda naitwa William Mohamed alibaki ameshare like a certain gif ilikuwa like the government printer today. Alafu the Kenya Times wakaandika, in the last 1 hour assumption committee ilikuwa instituted. Hiyo ni alafu the swearing in ikakuwa gazetted. Msali akakuwa appointed acting interior CS. Kusahau nilikuwa nimeruka hiyo point. Musalia Mudavadi was appointed the acting CS jana na akakuwa sworn in jana, like ilikuwa ni chap. Alafu Musalia immediately akaambiwa declare Friday public holiday ndio kusikue na koti. Alafu Sato pia kuna koti. So kama nani Gachagua anataka kustop hizi proceedings, anaenda kuzistop place inaitwa Kajitombe. Alafu pia KICC kakuwa prepared for swearing in. So hii KICC kuwa prepared for swearing in, of course, if you go back to the people walemuitaga ODM clowns, Wasekaki na Gabriel Oguda, of course they were so happy. They were showing images of like live scenes from KICC. Hao wenyewe wamesahau vile KICC pia iliwachomea ile time ilikuwaga ubuda anaitwa Raila alibaki ameenda KICC juu alikuwa anafikiria nini, akabaki amehaibisha watu na carpet ka red. Hiyo carpet nashinda kwa inakuwa gapi, because I think carpet ka hiyo inafaa kuwa like unajua the wall of shame. So yeah, but now another thing that ended up coming out on the same day, that's on Thursday the 31st of October, aka Halloween if I'm not wrong. 31st ndio kwa Halloween, si ndio? Okay, kauko states na ikuwa hivyo juu sibaki umekasirika na mimi. But kulikuwa na hiyo article ya Nation pia, NTV ndio alikuwa ameandika, Gachagua allied MPs targeted in house purge. Kiharo MP Dede Nyoro is among 13 lawmakers targeted for ejection from influential committee leadership for disloyalty to President Ruto. Yes, disloyalty in politics inakuwaga tricky sana. But Dede Nyoro is one of those interesting characters because umse ukigo back to like 2022 elections, he was one of the people who are busy cussing Uhuru. But still, if you are to go back much further in time, utakumbuka Dede Nyoro na story yake ya we are nini, he'd asked for Uhuru to be a dictator. So this is the funny thing about Kenyan politicians, is they get so engrossed na ama they get so blinded by power that they normally say just bullshit. Utatokeaje ubaki umesema that according to wewe Uhuru anafaa kuwa dictator, alafu as soon as umekosana na Uhuru unaanza kumtukana wewe mwenyewe unamuita dictator, alafu unashindwa nini? So the same thing I think with yeye sasa, what he thought about was, why should I keep supporting Ruto? While supporting Ruto means that my political career is going to be dead. So of course he ended up akilenga stories za Ruto. So saizi Ruto pia he rewards loyalty, and that's why mse kama nani aka lapdog kana kwaga very very kana hupenda kuwag tail kana itwa nani Kimani Ichung'wah. Mtuka Kimani Ichung'wah he's getting rewarded because unajua he's loyal. But we mwenyewe ukitry kunini, so Dede Nyoro inasemekana this is the last of him, and let's wait and see. And I want to see like the moves that umse anaenda kumake. Umse anaitwa Ruto. I want to see the moves that he's going to make. But more importantly, I can't wait for 2027 to see like the sort of political alignments that are going to be there, because it's going to be interesting to see, will ODM stay loyal to this guy, ama will at some point ODM see that this guy is at his weakest and it's the time to save Kenya from this guy, because by the time this guy leaves Kenya, it's going to be tricky, and because he's made Kenya just a family business, and that's sad. But kama uko mtaani, of course, baki umeenjoy. It's a public holiday. Jua that this public holiday is courtesy of Rigathi Gachagua. Call it the Rigathi Gachagua day, because this was basically Ruto alikuwa anafanyia Gachagua hivi, like unataka kwenda kotini, let me give the judges off. But now, more importantly, who's going to swear in the deputy president? If I was a betting man, I'd say CJ Koome. Why? Because CJ Koome had a conversation with William Samoei Ruto. And right now, we know the three arms of government. Usijidanganye. We najua unasema the three arms of government: executive, judiciary, the legislature. Unacheki. Lakini the three arms of government saizi ni William Samoei Ruto. IKONINI.